I'm Sushila Mertens, and I was born in Paterson, New Jersey. I'm 71 years old. So I grew up in New Jersey from working class. Got my grandmother's picture here from Lithuania. She arrived in America in the early 1900s. And my other grandparents came from Poland. And so I brought the pictures of my mother and father's family. So my mother had 6 or 5 siblings and one died. So they're just working class people. My father had 1 brother and 3 sisters, and they all lived real close to us in the town next door, kind of like Grass Valley, Nevada City. So we basically just visited, and most of my childhood was just spent with my immediate family. But by 2nd grade, I loved school. And from there on, by 3rd or 4th grade, I was actually a monitor for when the teachers had lunch. They let the older kids, and I wasn't that much older, a few years, go into the classroom during lunch, and they would play racer tag. I don't know if you know what that is. Put a racer on your head and you run around the room and catch the kid. We would just be there. So by 4th grade, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. So I was in the Future Teachers Club of America, and by 6th or 7th grade, I was the treasurer of my class, and I guess I was a leader early on in my childhood, and I had my own newspaper I created, and I had in 1960s, I probably had the first garage sale, and I employed the kids on my street to help me in the sales department. I don't know how I got this stuff. It was so much fun because we were always creating things. So I would say I was creative, and I kind of knew that I wanted to be a teacher. And actually, I loved grammar school. We had so much fun. I was really excited just to visit Ananda because it looked so exotic and beautiful, and they showed the Yuba River in the slideshow. I'm like, wow, a river you can swim in. So when I went, I had kind of went with a friend that was going to follow up and come a month later for the yoga program. When I got there, I think I told you last time I met a woman at the bus station, and she was really friendly, and then the person picked us up was really friendly, and then we got there, and it just seemed like they were my people, and we were all into yoga, and they had a higher vision of how to live a life like in community, that not living in single houses with small families that had to do everything by themselves. And so I liked that concept. I liked their idea of putting a spiritual or God first, and then I really loved doing yoga. And the gardening part that I signed up for wasn't really the greatest because I told you I'm kind of allergic outside, so I always had rashes on my arms, and it wasn't comfortable. But and then the people there were all like-minded, and we went swimming in the river, and we really just enjoyed being there. It was like a magical summer, and that's when I met my husband. So when we decided to get married, they threw us a wedding. Like, somebody baked the cake, somebody made the flower arrangements. It was just really beautifully done. And okay, well, it's not really a new concept. It comes from the cave people. As soon as they had fire and they had to warm up, they always sat around the fire, and it was a circle. So it wasn't like a leader that was at the top on a platform and chairs that were straight that make you think linear. It was a circle. And so that's really what nature is all about. Nature doesn't really have, if you look at anything, nature isn't straight. Even the trees have some bends and, you know, different things. But so you sit in a circle, and somebody can be responsible for what the topic is or something, like hosting, but they're not the boss. And so everybody has an equal say, and everybody has an equal responsibility. So we're sitting in, if we're sort of sitting in a circle. So if I say something that's offensive, you have the right to say, you know, let's stop for a moment, time out, and let's just say, you know, that hurt my feelings. I feel like what you're saying is really making me anxious. Can we kind of not use that word, or can you acknowledge that I'm uncomfortable? And if you're a mature group, you can say, oh, I wasn't aware of that, sorry, and I don't have to, please correct me again if you hear me say that. And there's a woman who wrote a book, her name is Jean Shanada Bolin. She's a psychotherapist, I think, and she wrote a book called The Millionth Circle. And she came to our Unity Women's group one time and shared her philosophy. And what she's saying is that the more women's circles that there are, even if they're small circles, that the millionth circle will change the tide of how humans behave with each other, because we'll include the equality of everyone in the group. So, and it also makes you think about your own mortality. Like, you have so many years, you don't know if you're gonna grow to 100 or not. So what are you gonna do today to make your life valuable? And I think that guides my choices. So I want to have some meaning in my life, and if something comes up or somebody needs help, that gives my life meaning. So I think that it's not being like, oh, you concentrate too much on death. Well, no, death informs how much I really live life. I really think that it's a very precious life. So how are we going to use it?